We're back.
We are back, and we have true Metal Roundtable today. It is episode 120 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John
and
with
Scott, calm and clear, smooth sailing waters.
Sparkling waters, huh?
Nobody gives a shit about what we have to say.
Nope.
We have two very special guests today.
That's right.
First of all, we have the great Vic Stown from Vindicator. I'm pronouncing that correctly, right?
Yes, perfect.
Stone, yes. Vic hit us up and wanted to be on the show, and we are more than happy to oblige with heavy metal guitar titans such as yourself. And we are also joined by the great Rick Perry of Ironjaw and Gammacide. So before we get to our topic today, which Rick has some hot sports opinions about, let's go through any shout outs, boys. I got nothing today. I'm telling you, it was hard for me to just to get here on time. So
you and me,
Carcass?
You and me both. I was 54 miles from my desk about 52 minutes ago, and because you knew where I was, I had talked to you earlier today, and I said my day was sailing along just fine, and then someone didn't show up for work, so then I had to cover for them, and it added to my day. But anyway, here I am, just in the nick of time, or just in the Vic of time, as we might say,
or just in the Rick
love
of
it.
time.
Love it.
Hey, we got to read his shirt today, though, before we start here.
Oh, that's
insect warfare. Easy.
I told you guys I'm going easy on you this year, but as the season gets closer to spring and summer, it'll get worse. Trust me.
Well, Scott, what about you, brother?
I'm good, man. Let's talk metal.
I like it.
Let's do it.
Vic, I am a brand new convert to Vindicator. I did work on the Thrashed and Demolished record that came out a few months ago, and that was awesome. But I am brand new to the fold. So for those that are watching that may know Vindicator, may not know Vindicator, you may know Vic from some of his other projects. Just kind of take us through some of the stuff that you've been involved in.
Project wise, I've done several things. My two biggest bands are Vindicator and Volcana. But I was in Vanik for a few years. I was on, I contributed music to Vanik 2 and Vanik 3, but I was only on Vanik 2. I did a band called Black Fang with my brother. A lot of people still don't know about that, but or just deny that that's really us, but it's us. I'm just, those are like the most important things. I did Violent Night I sent you the link for Violent Night. That was my first foray into metal, that band was, and then it split up. We did Vindicator for a long time. I got back with the one of Vindicator's co-founders was in Violent Night as well. And so we decided years later to track some of that old material. So that was fun to do. It was a one-off record, but mainly Vindicator and Volcana is kind of what I focus on.
Awesome. So Vindicator is pretty prolific. I had no idea. Scott told me, he's like, hey man, these dudes have a lot of stuff out there. And I didn't realize how far back that Thrash and Demolished record went. So when did the latest one come out? How long have you had that out there?
That was Communal Decay came out on October 1st of 2020. So not that long. That's been our newest release in 6 years, but our first full length in 8.
Okay, but obviously there will be things continuing in the future for Vindicator.
Yeah, I try to keep it going. I mean, it's I took a little bit of a break in terms of playing shows and writing because Volcana kind of took the front seat for a while. Once I got into that, it was a lot of fun, and I kind of kept that going for several years before I convinced myself to do Vindicator again. Billy Zahn, our guitar player, our lead player, he kind of saved the project for me because, this guy, he started off as a fan of the band. I think he bought United We Fall when he was 12. think it was 12 or 14 when it came out. He was a little kid when he bought that record, and always was one of his favorite bands we were, so, which is weird, so the kid got super good, and that's one of the things that we've had trouble keeping around as lead players. And I watched him progress like for the past several years, and he got to a point to where I felt like he could definitely hold his own in this band. So that kind of reinvigorated it, so having somebody excited about what what you're doing. I don't know, that's kind of that kind of lights the fire, again, because I definitely was getting tired.
Fresh-
yeah, awesome.
Fresh
Right on.
blood. Yep.
Yeah, New Blood is always good. We saw New Blood and Hellstar, and that has worked out great for those guys. But so, what is next on your agenda? Is it going to be Volcana, new Vindicator stuff in the next year or two, or what have you got coming up?
Well, because it's difficult for us to play shows because Billy lives in Montana, so we can't just play any kind of gig. We've got to get like flights covered now and things like that, at least substantial amounts of what we're putting into it covered. So playing shows has to be very calculated, and that kind of frees up, though, our ability to write and record. So I know that I've got a lot of Vindicator stuff that I still haven't released in terms of like demos and such, like bits and pieces of music. So there's definitely another album's worth of stuff coming. But Volcana, I definitely have another album in the works there as well.
Awesome.
Well, I get to take my time these days. There's certainly don't succumb to the pressure of having to do it because there's no label exec breathing down my neck or anything along those lines. So I can kind of take my time and do it at my own speed, which is nice.
Damn it! I want it now.
Hey,
Where are the rest of you guys based at, Vic?
Where
What's
are
that?
you based, Vic?
Where the rest of is the band based at?
So like all of us but Billy are in Ohio,
Okay.
spread out around the Cleveland area. But yeah, finding a lead player that can stick and has the sound that we need him to have is a challenge. So Billy steps in for James LaRue, who was in White Wizard, and the guy that I thought was the death knell for us when he left, because that guy writes some ridiculous solos. He is one of the most phenomenal modern lead guitarists there are, and he's grossly underappreciated. So people don't know who he is, but he's phenomenal. And that's a scary thing, trying to replace somebody like that. So,
Yep.
but Billy looks up to him substantially. So Billy, kind of plays a lot like him. So that worked out beautifully. Plus, he's a good like mentor. If Billy's got a question, he can go to James. So that was a good transition. That one worked out for us. But I mean, we had a long period in between there where it wasn't working out so hot for us.
And there's a good metal scene up in Ohio, isn't there?
Cleveland's got a unique scene. It's a tough scene. That's the nicest way I can put it. The great death metal scene in Cleveland, really phenomenal death metal scene, really tight, lots of bands, or like classic 80s metal. For us, it was a challenge being a young thrash band in the scene. I don't know. It's Cleveland. You got to be tough. I don't know if you ever seen that sticker. It's a rough town, but after like 10 years of being a band there, we finally got some respect. So it worked out.
Cool.
Right
Well,
on.
I can attest to the Cleveland toughness. I dated a gal from Findlay when I was in college, and
Okay.
she was a pretty tough chick. But speaking of writing ridiculous solos, hey, Rick Perry, what you got going on? What you got going on? I bet Rick could attest to. He could attest to a revolving door in as far as band members and stuff go, because he's been in a bunch of different projects too. That and sounds like he has a similar eclectic taste that you do, Vic, as far as metal, thrash metal, heavy metal, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Iron Jaw's doing a new CD right now, so we just started it. So we're taking some time off from local gigs for a few months while we work on that. And yeah, we've just been writing some new material, got some new songs coming out. So just going to record some new Iron Jaw stuff, and then of course Scott's going to be putting out the Gammacide later this year. I think, or what, September, October, something like that.
Hoping end of the summer it'll be done by. Yep, it's already in production. It's just, and if anybody knows, vinyl production is 8-9 months behind. So yeah,
Right.
On sparkling vinyl.
yeah, nice shiny plastic. Ooh.
Well, and here's a unique little side note is Vic. I'm the one that drew the Vindicator thrashed and demolished thing, and then I drew Rick's Iron Jaw project and some other projects that he was in before.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
So the question, Rick, is how are we going to outdo that?
I don't know,
Because we've had this
That's up to
discussion
you.
before. We've had this discussion before about how you keep printing that same shirt because almost in a Motorhead-esque kind of way, that's it. That's the perfect.
Yeah, it
symbol
became
for the
your.
band.
It's become your mascot now.
Well, yeah, you outdid yourself, I thought, and I was really happy with that one. So, I mean, that's what I wanted, was just something that looks like a Motorhead or just a classic design that you can do in black and white and has that timeless look to it. And you definitely delivered. So
I do have an idea or two.
I
So,
forgot that Carcass did the artwork on that Vindicator thing.
yeah,
I don't have it.
Oh yeah.
I don't
What
have it.
what War
Yeah.
Beast album did you do, Carcass? Did you do
all of them.
I
All
think
of
I got that. You did. Oh, did you do all of them? Then I have that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
There's the Vindicator.
and
There's the Vindicator he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think
yeah, I was
that
on
my,
I was on War Beast too, the first one.
yeah, Rick was
Okay.
in War Beast,
Yeah.
and that actually had that first album had 2 different covers, and
Right.
I actually like the European cover a little better just because of the old Panzer
Okay.
Commander tank map behind it and so forth. But yeah, the War Beast gave me an opportunity to, like every other year, really outdo myself, and I think that I stepped it up until the very last thing. Even the CD.
There you go. I just
DVD.
happen to have one. I'm sitting right behind me.
Yeah, that's the second one, Destroy,
Yep.
and some great Nightmares in the Sky and some other
I
stuff.
also have this sitting behind me.
Oh man,
There you go.
maybe you should tell the story about how that picture was taken, because that's a funny story actually. But anyway, but I know we have a different topic because Rick was coming in hot with his SRO on what?
Well, so Vic was coming on the show, and I was stoked about that. And so I'm trying to brush up on some Vindicator stuff. And I'm messaging with him yesterday. I'm like, dude, what do you want to talk about? We should get a topic or whatever. And he's like, dude, we can talk about anything. And I'm like, hell yeah. So we'll go through Vindicator stuff, and then we'll figure something out, as we go. And then Rick texted me this morning about 8:30 or 9 o'clock and said, what's the topic on the show today? And I was like, I don't know. We got Vic from Vindicator coming on, and he goes, I've got some things to say about this Judas Priest single guitar situation. And I was like, hey, Vic,
It's
I
an
think
outrage.
we've got our topic for today.
Yeah. I want to tell my Vindicator story too before we leave. So
Okay, well, let's do this. So let's get into Scott's Vindicator story, and then here's how we're going to set this up. For those of you watching, we've got Vic from Vindicator on, and we've also got Rick from Iron Jaw and Gammacide. Go to Bandcamp and just search Vindicator, because there is so much shit for you to check out. I thought, I'll go check out their album. I'll be up to
their
speed.
album.
Yeah, no. I admit it. I was not. This was not a something that I was super familiar with. I've already apologized to Vic. We're still going to be friends. But holy cow, man, there is a ton of Vindicator stuff. And then at the bottom, it leads you through into all the other projects. So I've got a lot of homework to do. So I want you to go to Bandcamp and check out. I can't speak. Check out all the projects that Vic has been involved with, because there is some badass thrash metal on there. So
When did the first Vindicator come out? First
2008
Vindicator album.
was our first full length. Yeah.
Is that the one with the
There Will
bloody
Be Blood.
hands? The guy with the bloody hands?
It's this one.
Well, the bloody torso, yes.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
that
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's
I
set it
was.
up this.
There we go.
So let's set it up this way. Scott will tell his Vindicator story. If you've got questions for Rick or Vic, send them in on the chat, and I'll put them up on the screen. But the topic is going to be Judas Priest going out with a single guitar player. So as soon as we get through Scott's story here about Vindicator, which should be entertaining, we're going to hop over into the topic. So chime in about Judas Priest with one guitar player, or with your questions for Rick or Vic. And thank you again, both of you, for being here. Scott, you're up, brother.
I just wanted to say how I discovered Vindicator. I played an Ultimatum for 20 years, and we were doing we were opening up for a lot of bands that were touring through at a bunch of clubs out in Albuquerque, and Vindicator was one of the bands that had come through town. Do you remember when that was, Vic? 2000, when you were on touring?
2000. That I think was 2009. That was with Suspended, yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was Ultimatum,
Suspended and Dread.
Yeah, and then you guys and us, yeah. So anyhow, Ultimatum was there. We played our set, and there was a decent crowd there for that show. Well, after we pulled all our crap off the stage, we threw it all in the back. So we walk off the stage, and I walk out to Vindicator's truck, and me and Robert, guitar player, and our bass player, we start picking up their equipment and carrying it onto the stage. And I think it was Vic that looked at me and said, "What are you guys doing?" And he's like, "Oh, we're just helping you guys out." And he's like, "Aren't you from Ultimatum?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why are you helping us out? Why not?" And then he said something about, to the effect of, "We should be opening for you guys, not you guys opening for us," or something to that effect. And I'm like, I had so much respect for that comment, and I'm like, no, these guys rule. So I went into their table and like bought everything.
I remember that. Then you gave me a stack of Ultimatum CDs that I had needed because, oh shit, what is this? Is it Symphonic Destruction? Forgive me.
Symphonic Extremities.
What's the first one? Symphonic Extremities. I can remember that. I remember the album cover, and dude, my buddy was like, "Oh yeah," well, Wayne from Violent Night and one of the founding members of Vindicator. He's the reason I have what knowledge I have on metal. And he kept me hungry for it, man. I'd go over and he'd show me something new. And I remember Symphonic Extremities came up, and like I always wanted that album just because I loved the cover so much. I wanted that album. And you handed me that stack, and I was like, "Is it in here?" Yes. I was most pumped. I mean, I was super excited about that, man. I still have all those CDs too, man. I love it. I appreciated that so much. But yeah, let me tell you, people carrying my stuff for me, that's such a rarity that I'm lucky I didn't pass out from shock or something. That's a wild thing. That's usually I have to carry everyone's stuff, including my brother's.
Well, and he's the singer too, so that the singer never helps.
We help.
Yeah. At that time I wasn't.
We knew how much it sucked. I mean, just from having, Ultimatum had been around at that point for like 15 years. It sucks carrying your own equipment, not having any, roadies or anything to help you out. So any band that came through town, we just made it a policy, man. Let's just help these guys out. And so, yeah, it was just something that we did. So, and the funny thing is we made a lot of friends because of that, including Vic. And I mean, ever since then, I've put out a Vindicator album, and I've put out a couple albums for his father too.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, we are here with two fantastic thrash metal guitar players, and we are going to switch to the topic at hand right now. So, Rick and Vic, we're interested. What are your thoughts? Judas Priest is going out with one guitar player. Andy Sneap was quoted as saying that was very disappointing to him. And KK Downing sits at home on his couch. Go.
Well, that really makes no sense, does it? I mean, it's incredibly. I don't know. I was talking to John Perez earlier today, and we were saying that this might be the worst decision in metal ever. I mean, for them to go out as a four-piece band, a one-guitar band. I mean, that band has completely built their whole sound on a two-guitar approach. You got, two rhythm guitars. One's playing rhythm during the leads, or they're doing lead trade-offs or harmony solos. And I can't see it as being a one-guitar band. And especially when there's a founding member who's sitting at home who wants to be in Priest so bad that he created his own version of Judas Priest. You know, I mean, it really makes no sense. And for a supposed for Judas Priest to be doing their 50th anniversary tour, you know, I mean, you want to go out on a high note and not with all this schism and just revamping the format on the very last tour. It doesn't make sense to me. It really seems. I wonder how much they thought this out before they did it, because I saw that they had put on their Facebook the press release, and it was like 1,000 comments, and they were all negative. I mean, all negative. And I mean, they must be.
Well, I wonder who makes that decision, though. I mean, do they seriously get the 4 guys together and say, "Hey, I think we just go out as a 4-piece," and management's like, "Hey, that's a great idea. Let's go." I mean, how does this happen?
Well, I mean, if they're thinking maybe they could save money by not paying a Andy Sneap to play guitar, I mean, they're going to lose money by people not going to the concert. I think there's a lot of people who are going to say, "Well, I'll pass."
Well, so, and who's going to go see him? Raise your hand.
A lot of people probably will, but I mean, oddly enough, I just got a text from George Call talking about this stuff. He said, I just posted this on Rob Halford's latest picture on his official profile. I'm not taking the Judas Priest Will Tour as a 4-piece thing very well. Let's see how long before it gets removed. How did Iron Maiden do things? When Adrian Smith wanted to come back to the group, Steve Harris, no longer oblivious or deaf-tone, realized the fans wanted it. Nonetheless, he didn't want to punish Janik Jarrus, who had replaced Smith already for several albums and tours. What did he do? He brings back Smith and keeps Jarrus. Yes, that makes him a 6-piece. Yes, that means more money to split between guys. But damn it, Tipton and Halford, Maiden fans are happy. Isn't that one of your cardinal rules? Be more like Maiden.
Well, yeah, I don't think. I think Iron Maiden has obviously had way better management than Judas Priest throughout the years. I mean, Rod Smallwood, he's a great manager. Although I think they still could do without Janet Gers, but that's a different story. But actually, you know, Iron Maiden has an extra guitar player. Maybe they can give one to Judas Priest. So,
Vic?
You know, but I mean, it's just, you know, the fans have. The fans, of course, would like to see the original. It's different whenever someone's sick or can't play anymore. But whenever KK is still able to write and play, I mean, it doesn't make sense not to have him back in there to me. There's plenty of bands that hate each other. I mean, the Ramones, they toured for years. They didn't even speak to each other for 4 or 5 years at the end. And, Van Halen, there's lots of bands that can't stand each other and have to have dressing rooms on the opposite sides of the arena and stuff like that. Seems like they could just swallow it and, go out on tour for the fans, you know.
What do you think, Vic?
I tend to agree with that sentiment. They're Judas Priest. They're going to do what they want. I don't know much about the tour. You know, the last time I saw Judas Priest, it was that Judas Priest Whitesnake tour. That was years ago. Yeah. And it was a great show. But, at this point, if this is this like a last tour? Is that what they're booking this as or billing it as?
Well, I don't think
farewell
it's a last
tour. Is that what this?
I don't think it's not a last tour, but it's like
if it's
50th anniversary or something like that. But I mean, they can't have
If
left.
Right, that, and if it's a special number, I get that. Yeah, no, but think about this too. Black Sabbath did the exact same damn thing. They left a guy out. That's, and I don't know the deal with KK Downing. I swear I remember he left because of health reasons. I thought that's why he left. I have no idea. I'm so lost in that scenario because did he leave because of health reasons, or did he just leave because he didn't want to do it anymore? Why did he leave in the first place? He
didn't want to do it anymore. But he thought that he thought it was supposed to be their farewell tour, and he didn't want to take part in it for whatever reason. But then, they kept on going, and he changed his mind, I guess.
Right.
So, and people say, well,
I mean
he quit, but Rob Halford quit for like 10 or 12 years. He quit in 90,
and
91.
I mean, it's KK's band.
Right. He formed.
Yeah.
Isn't it KK's band?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
I mean, that's what's mind blowing to me. Right. Yeah, it was. So it's like, if it's like a 50th anniversary, probably don't have to meet. Let him come back for this tour. Now but again, I mean, people are gonna go see him. I guess it'd be kind of interesting. How are these songs going to translate? I mean, I don't know that I want to pay that price for what is going to equate to some sort of experiment. How will these songs translate to single guitar? I can tell you from personal experience, having the tour without a second guitar player, not even for leads, but writing songs that have guitar harmonies sound a lot lamer without those harmonies.
Yes,
so
they do. We did the same thing. That's rough.
Even if you're right, and even if you're not going to take KK back, well, then why would you get rid of Sneap, or why don't you just get somebody else? You need. I agree. They need two players. We want to hear that's Judas Priest has cool harmonies. We want to hear those.
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't matter now. Maybe they've got a.
I saw speculation online that they were going to be doing. They were going to have backing tracks for the other guitar parts.
See, and that's a
that could be.
But why? But why go
lame
see a
also.
robotic pre-tape show? I mean, I mean, I'm trying to imagine Gammacide without two guitars, Exodus without two guitars. Even Slayer, even Iron Maiden with one guitar. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense and I hate to even say the word business, but like you said, loyalty to the fans is, I guess who cares what we think? I guess we vote with our wallets.
Yeah.
Like in many ways.
Yeah.
I won't go see Judas Priest without a second guitar player. And I was okay with Richie Faulkner, who's amazing, and
He's
even
great.
Andy Sneap. I mean, playing the Tipton part, you know what I mean? I was cool with that. That was all right, because it was a fairly solid facsimile of what we're used to.
Man, they sounded great the past two times I saw them.
Sure.
It was an excellent show.
Oh yeah, I saw him with what was it, Saxon, a year or two ago, and Black Star Riders.
Right.
Man, I was 16 again, banging my head the whole time,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't be doing that to begin with, but I couldn't help it.
Well, it's just kind of course, bands have their own inner stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know what really is going on and why they have so much animosity for one another. I know KK said some shit in his book about them, and apparently him and Glenn have hated each other forever, which is kind of shocking to me, because as a kid looking up to them, you just think, well, they're the team, you just think they must be hanging out, partying all the time or whatever. But apparently it wasn't like that. And in Rob Halford's book, he described Glenn and KK as squabbling like an old married couple, the whole time. So it's kind of depressing to think about that, but apparently that's the way it went. But
so was Andy Sneap squabbling with somebody? Because he should be in the band if KK's not the first choice.
Right.
Then why are we leaving a capable replacement on the doorstep?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Vic, are you available?
It's just really strange decision.
If they want some really bad playing.
Oh, I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah. But you can riff. I know that you can.
I mean, I'm sure it pays. It probably actually it pays pretty well. So
yeah, I'm sure it pays well.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
And you still got the hair for it, unlike the rest of us.
Guess what?
I could use some of those endorsements.
Hey, we're being joined by another local guitar hero.
Hey, there he is.
There he is.
What's up, George?
Hey guys.
Tell us why Judas Priest has no business going on tour with one guitar player.
Man, I've got a horrible connection. Say that again, Rob. I'm sorry.
Tell us why Judas Priest has no business going on tour with one guitar player, if that's your thought.
That is my thought. Let me clarify first by stating that I am a huge Judas Priest fan. I love the band. I've been a fan for years. All of the bands that I'm in have taken pointers and, fast track lessons from Judas Priest. I've been friends with Scott Travis for years. When they'd come to town, he'd hook me up with backstage passes, and we go hang out, and we go to concerts together, strip bars, fast food joints, their hotel where they'd stay. So, I say this with nothing but love in my heart. Judas Priest has always been a 2-guitar band. They should always be a 2-guitar band. And for them to go out with one guy when you've got the other original player basically begging to come back to the band, it's almost sacrilegious to me. It's a slap in the face to the fans. And I gave the example earlier with Iron Maiden. When Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith came back to the group, Steve Harris could have said, "Man, fuck that. Why we're gonna split the money with this guy or whatever. We'll keep things like it is." No, Steve Harris showed you his character. He showed you his character by not dismissing the guy who had filled in or who had taken Adrian Smith's place. Instead of letting Yannick go, which would have made a lot of people happy, right? It would have been great on their bottom line, in their wallet, their pocket. They just added a guitar player. They made their band a 6-piece. That shows you Steve Harris's character. He did what was good for the fans while doing what was right for him. Okay, so he basically he killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Judas Priest, apparently all they want to do is what's good for them and their bottom line, and Tipton's, at this point, fragile ego when it comes to KK Downing. So in my opinion, and I think a multitude of the fans, I'm not sure how the panel there feels, but they should bring back KK Downing and go out as they always have with a twin guitar attack band, and those are
because the original recipe is always the best, right? I mean, if for these bands that we love, I mean, I don't care, they'll never be be able to have a lead guitar player in Kiss that's better than Ace Frehley. I don't care how good he is. There'll never be a guy better than Ace Frehley. The original recipe is always the best. That's what the fans like. That's what the fans want. Just whenever you see the original guy up there, that's what gets your heart going, and that's what you respond to. So, like George said, you have the original founding member who wants back in the band, but they won't let him. It just seems it's depressing to see the metal gods being like spiteful dickheads to one another.
Twist. There's a twist here.
It is.
Judas Priest kicks out Andy. Now they're going out as a 1-piece. Everyone's talking trash. Everyone's talking about Judas Priest. And then in 3 or 4 days, they announce KK's coming back. Whoa! You guys all fell for it.
That would be all right.
Yeah,
Vic for the win.
I think so too. I think there's no way with all the backlash that they actually go out as a 4-piece. Whether it's KK or not, who can say? But I'll bet you anything they go out with somebody in that second guitar spot.
I'm not saying that'll happen, but I mean it is weird. Yeah. It's weird. That's a weird move for them to make. So
yeah, I agree. I think your scenario is the most likely, and it's the one that I'm the most hopeful for sure.
This has gone completely WWE, hasn't it? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that you're thinking, is this almost could happen?
Right, like it's an April Fool's joke or something.
Right.
That's kind of how I felt when I played Saint Anger the first time. It's got to be a joke. This is not real.
I couldn't believe it when I first heard about it, and then it started picking up traction, and then I heard that Rick had something to say about it, wanted to be on the show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it really is true. So anyway, there you have it. And
oh yeah, I mean, if you look at their Facebook page, they put that release out, and there's like 1,000 comments, and every one of them is like saying disappointment, terrible, bad idea, worst decision ever. I mean, every single one, maybe one out of a 1,000 comments says something like, "You guys are turning your backs on them" or something. But almost everyone is united in that same opinion. That it's going to have to get back to them, and they're going to have to think, we got to rethink this. Then they're going to look foolish when they change their mind. But
well,
I don't know.
As accessible as Rob is on the internet, I mean, he's seemingly pretty responsive to people. So there's no way they don't see this. No way.
Right.
anyway,
Hey, Rob, put up Hashcraft's comment.
Hang on. Here we go.
So, quoting someone from Facebook, yeah, let's put the entire guitar legacy on the shoulders of a guy whose heart exploded on stage recently.
Ouch.
A bit morbid, but true.
He's a great guitar player. There's no doubt about it. But those songs, it's different. If Van Halen or Pantera or Black Sabbath, those are one guitar bands. Those songs are written for a one guitar format. So it's not the same as a band like Priest suddenly just taking one guitar player out. It'd be like if Deep Purple suddenly had no keyboard player. You're taking a key ingredient out, and
Yeah, it's no longer the same thing. It's like a mix.
work.
It's like a mixed drink, and you left the vodka out.
Right. or the ice, or the
Something.
or the
maybe
vermouth
the
or something.
ingredient.
Right.
Yeah. George, are you still good to hang with us, or do we need to let you go?
I'm good for another minute. Let me make this comment here, and then maybe I'll blow out here. But
Okay.
it's not, if Priest was going out as a 4-piece, and there was no KK, chomping at the bit to get back. Okay, maybe it'd be like, all right, well, you can see maybe. But when you've got an original member that was there from album number 1, that was there through the Ripper Owens years, that was there, through thick and thin, and basically one of the founders of the band, when the guy has made it beyond clear that he wants back, he wants his position, and they're not giving it to him, that's what makes the entire thing a debacle, an affront, an insult to the fans, because, the man wants his position back. He wants his chair back. And
Right.
any band worth their salt that loves their fans or their legacy would say, come on back, man. We'll figure this out. We'll work it out. We'll work the money out. We'll work the bad blood, the accent. Those guys, they were together for so long. And, clearly KK seen the error of his ways, just like Rob did when he left the band and couldn't sell, more than 2,000 tickets to go see Fight or Two or any of his solo Halford band, opening for everybody. The guy, they need him and Tipton, because clearly it's their decision. They just need to sit down and say, here's what the fans want. This is honoring our long-standing legacy. Let's do it. Let's do right by the fans. Yeah, man. Let's do right by the fans. Whatever it costs them, whatever ego they have to swallow or pride they have to. It's not like KK suck. The guy doesn't suck. The guy's not incompetent. He hasn't lost his touch like, say, Peter Criss with Kiss. I understand why somebody might because anymore, but or at least not to the level he was in the 70s. And
right, KK's still playing good.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, KK's still on his mark. He just put out a record. He's clear. He wants to come back. He's a longtime guy that doesn't complain. He doesn't bitch. Doesn't whine. Doesn't moan. He just wants to get up there and do his thing. And they have stymied him. They've roadblocked him. They've hurdled him. every step of the way. And now this is like salt on the wound. Well, we're going out as a 4-piece. Hey, what about this guy, the original guy wanting to come back? Fuck that. We don't care. And I don't believe that it's a ploy or that they're going to announce his return in 3 or 4 days. I don't believe that for a second.
So.
Because why would you make this announcement? I mean, why make this announcement just to change it in a few days? You know what I mean?
Right.
But
it's free press.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it, so I'm sure other people are doing it too.
Well, they would get a ton of press if he joined back.
I mean,
either way, yeah.
Oh, but no press is bad press. So
everyone is
right.
But
no
right now,
press
everyone
exactly.
is thinking Priest is making the stupidest decision ever. So
Here's a good one.
True.
Hashtag legacy tarnished.
To everything that's been said, if Tipton's not in the band and Tipton and KK were always squabbling about this, that, and the other, if Tipton's not in the formula anymore, I mean, I'm sure he must get. I mean, does he get along with Richie Faulkner? It doesn't matter. He does. He's not quibbling anymore. He didn't have it. He didn't have the old married couple syndrome anymore.
Right.
And I don't know, Rick. I was going to ask you before we got completely absorbed into this. I mean, what do you think of the new KK record? I mean,
it's okay. I mean, it's not fantastic or nothing. It's kind of generic Priest-style metal. It seems like it was written pretty quickly, but it shows that KK has got some energy and he can play. I mean, the solos are ripping. He's still coming up with riffs. He's still got energy, and I think that it's basically like his demonstration that, hey, yeah, I still got it and I can still do this and I'm ready to go. I think that's kind of what it is.
Okay. So, it should have been a 2-part question. What do you think of the record as a whole, and what do you think of his actual playing and songwriting, etc.?
His playing and songwriting is great. I think the record is a little generic, but it's still cool.
Right on.
I mean, these guys. It's amazing that they put out the stuff that they did anyway. I mean, when you listen to Stained Class and Sin After Sin, that stuff is amazing where it came from. That's that's landmarks for metal that are still standing tall. So, to me, they can do no wrong, really. I mean, they've already hit those highs. They're like all-time champions.
But they can tarnish their reputation.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Hey, Giorgio, we got you back.
Kind of like Kiss, tarnishing their reputation.
George, what did you think of KK's Priest?
I liked it. I mean, it's cool. It's fine. It was a little on the basic side of things, but it's okay. I dug it. My only issue is that it's just the man wants back in Priest. Let him come back. Make everybody happy.
Right.
Make the world happy. You make your fan base happy. Because what they've done.
I will say about the KK's Priest is when I listen to it, I do hear some things that Judas Priest is missing right now. Some key aspects to the Priest recipe are there, and just the tone and some of the leads he plays, they're missing that stuff. That,
because I thought Firepower was outstanding.
Firepower is outstanding. It's a great record, but it sounds like a very well produced modern metal record. I mean, I still think that it's missing a little bit of that classic old flavor.
What do you say, Vic?
Sitting stoically, he's
I loved Firepower. I thought Firepower was Painkiller 2.0, and I have not liked anything Judas Priest has done in a while. So
Yeah.
Firepower. You see, I'm a guy that'll listen. If the single doesn't catch me, I might not listen to the record. That's how I am. I'm like that with every band I love. And I heard this. I don't remember what the single was for Firepower, but I was like, okay, all right, because I remember listening to the single that came from the record that came before that, going, this is just tired sounding to me. And
It was.
yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And I'm not saying that I'm better than Judas Priest, but I'm allowed to have an opinion as a fan. So yeah, I loved Firepower. I thought this is a great record, and you know, it's I don't know, it just sounded cool to me. So, but again, there's two guitar players, so
Yeah.
bringing it full circle back to that, that is a big difference. Now, I haven't listened to KK's new record. I listened to the single, didn't like it, so I didn't bother to go further than that. But I mean, again, I'm like, not dissing KK or anything, and to bring the question full circle for the second time, he should be back in Priest at least for this tour. So that's where I stand on the whole thing.
Or at least can we have Andy Sneap? Can we just have two guitars?
Well,
I mean, I realize that
Andy Sneap busy with production work, so I've got several reports. I've seen that he was fired. I was seeing that he left. I've seen that he was too busy with production work, and the whole thing is so weird and muddy right now. I don't really know what to believe, you know, and the fact that he said that he was it was extremely disappointing that they were going out with as a 4-piece seems to me like maybe he wasn't asked back for some reason, but that is 100% speculation.
Well, I mean, we're talking to three very, very extremely serviceable guitarists on our show today, and I can't imagine that it would be that hard to find a replacement guy, especially as to George's point.
Right.
They got one sitting on the couch. They just put out a record, and he's ready to roll. His chops are there still. It's for the whole world to see. Why?
And he knows all the material.
Yeah, he knows the material. Yeah, it's not like
Right.
he couldn't. They have to send him a stack of CDs and say, "Learn these by Thursday. We're going out on tour." I don't get it, man. But if they're a 4-piece, I'm not gonna go see them. I'll look them up on YouTube. See how they sound.
I won't either.
I've got tickets.
Yeah, I'm
for
right
the
there with
tour.
you, dude.
I've got tickets for the tour. They kept putting it off, and you know it got postponed and whatever. So
I have an idea. Maybe
I
they
don't
could
know what
do
I'm gonna with that.
maybe they could do the Dio thing and have a hologram of Glenn Tipton on stage, and then
That's what it is. It's gonna be a 3D hologram.
there you go.
It's there. That's the wave of the future, right? Michael Jackson, Ronnie James, and now Glenn Tipton.
I was
Hey, you
trying
wanna
to
know-
work in
you
a
wanna-
hologram Yannick Gers joke, and I couldn't come up with anything.
Yeah. Hey,
Everybody hates that guy, but he was awesome in Gillen.
he
I
was
don't
also
have a-
cool
I don't
when
have
he
a
was
problem with
with
the. Go ahead, George.
when he was in the Bruce Dickinson solo band. He was cool, you
Yeah.
know. But somehow when he joined Maiden, he just became like a jester or something, kind of
Well,
clownish
yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
He's got cool moves. He has cool moves, man.
But have you seen on YouTube recently they isolated some of his live tracks when he's doing all that stuff, and he sounds fantastic.
Yeah, he's a solid player. I mean, no
He's a
question.
great player, man.
Hey, unless
Yeah.
you're Molly Hatchet or Leonard Skinner, I don't
Right,
think you need
that's-
3 guitar players. I'm sorry.
I'm with you on that, Carcass. I
Or
don't think
Leatherwolf. Or
I don't think it's
Leatherwolf.
necessary.
Wow, Leatherwolf reference. There we go.
I mean,
Yeah.
The triple axe attack.
anyway.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. He's really fun to watch. I don't know. I like him up there. I think that's the full Maiden experience.
Yeah, I do
That's
too.
that's a separate subject too. That's
He's definitely a dancey on stage, but I don't mind him.
We got 10 minutes. We can talk about the full Maiden experience. Hit it.
Hey, before we go into the full Maiden experience, I just want to comment how small the whole metal community is, because I just joined. I didn't know you were talking, Rob. You sent me a thing. asking me to join in here and give my 2 cents. I had posted something on my Facebook. I guess you saw it or something, and
I read it.
sparked you from there. But what's funny is that every single guy in this on these videos here, I know every one of you guys. I know Rob, I know Vic, I know Scott Waters, I know Rick Perry and Fossum, of course. I mean, every single guy here is a known commodity to me. So it just shows you how interknit the whole metal community is. Even though, I mean, some of you guys I haven't seen in a while. Rick Perry, I think we did a show last year where we caught some flack from some fucking queer ass bitch snowflake up in Wisconsin talking shit. That dude, when we see that dude, I mean, he's gonna get tough. Period.
How do you really
He's
feel?
not the metal brother. He's a fucking pussy. I think. I'm telling you straight up. That dude, he made enemies where he had none. Where he had friendlies, that dude made enemies.
Right.
That was the last time I saw Rick.
He was upset because of the because Texas was opening up and Wisconsin still wasn't, or something like that, right?
Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what you were talking about. I remember that, dude.
Yeah, he said the metalheads in Texas were gonna, make the pandemic go out of control, and they weren't gonna be able to go see Dragon Force because of that.
So we're gonna kill Grandpa.
Oh my gosh!
It was the Dragon Force tour would be canceled because of us.
Yeah. And
Totally
the
forgot about
he talked. Yeah, dude. This dude, he talked shit on Asuka, on Hellstar, on Ironjaw. He talked on all of our bands. This just started. I mean, and it's like, and the irony of it is that about 3 to 4 months later, he runs a little mini fest in Wisconsin when things. So the minute they opened up, all that pandemic fear went right out the window. So he could run his metal fest. But when they were still closed up, he had plenty of shit to say about us. A dude like that, man. Yeah, that's a bitch right there. That dude's a bitch. But anyway, Vic.
There's no chance.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So there's no chance you're gonna play his living room anytime soon.
Fuck no, dude. I play his living room. I play his living room with a foot up his ass. That dude's a joke. But anyway, so Scott, of course, my favorite, small independent label. You guys are the best. You keep the metal alive. I watch your channel all the time. I love your, the things you post and have to say and all that. And that is Scott Waters up there, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Vic, I haven't seen you since Warriors of Metal, but man, you guys did a great job then, and I'm so happy to see you're still rocking and still into it. And John, when I played your living room there last year, and Rob, when we were front row at Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, we were. I believe you had free beer all night that night.
Yeah, you did. It was great. Had a great time, man.
That was fun.
So yeah, this panel is I see nothing but true metal, spikes and chains.
Yeah, got my spikes right there.
Oh, I thought maybe your dude up in Wisconsin jammed your signal there for a minute. So how many I think they did. Yeah, I think George froze. So here's a funny thing before we get out of here in a couple minutes, and we're not in any rush. If anybody wants to keep on chatting, we can do that. How many bands are represented right now on this screen? So Vic, you go first. How many bands are represented? This is the most bands at once ever represented on the show. So we've got Vindicator.
Is it bands that I'm currently active with, or
any at all?
That you've been a participant in, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, this will be fun trivia.
6, I think, maybe 7, 6 or 7.
Okay, I'll tell you the ones I can name.
Hey, I just came back. I'm sorry.
Vindicator.
How many bands are represented was what I had to ask.
Yeah. Vanik, Vindicator, Volcana, Ultimatum, Ironjaw, Gammacide, Puncture, Warbeast, Asuka, Cloven Hoof. Hang on.
Banshee.
That's the ones I can think of.
Emerald.
Once dead.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
I win.
Vic's got a few more, I think, but
Give or take. Yeah, give or take.
6,666 bands.
Are you talking former bands as well? Because if
Yes.
so, then you got Omen there too.
Oh,
Omen?
yeah. Omen.
Didn't you sing an Emerald? Or was it?
I Emerald as well. I was with Emerald, with Omen, and yeah. So we had a bunch of bands in the house here tonight.
Yes, we
Carcass,
do.
didn't you play drums for somebody?
Stonehenge, baby. And I cut my teeth with a band called Alfonso Knight and the Days with a Z. It was a
I still listen to those guys.
It was a funk fusion.
That sounds
thing.
good.
Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of syncopated rhythms, man. It was fun.
Cool. Well, anybody got any parting shots before we all get off of here? I kind of feel like, yeah, this was a lit up topic today, man. You guys were on fire, and
I'm gonna add a few things. I know Aska's got a new album coming out, so
Yep.
Looking forward to that.
Oh,
So they
Thank
let
you.
some moron do the mastering on it, though. It's going to sound like ass.
it won't sound like
No,
ass.
it's
I'll
not.
just bet it won't.
And then
Yeah, you know what?
Vindicator's got a go ahead. Vindicator's got a new album out now, which is almost sold out. But I hear they may be coming out with a new or another version and possibly vinyl. So I'm looking forward to that, especially vinyl because I love vinyl. And then Rick Perry's got a new Iron Jaw he's working on, and he still has copies of the first album available. So check into Iron Jaw, and his old band Gammacide is being reissued on vinyl and CD. So I'm looking forward to that.
On
Remastered from the original tapes
By Rob Cowell.
by Rob
Love
Caldwell.
it,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is not it, but it's adapted.
something like that.
So I just wanted to give a little pump to all those projects, and also if anybody cares, the Vindicator Thrash and Demolished demo vinyl and CD is still available too. So I think he's got some on his Bandcamp, and you can get it from the Left to Middle Records as well.
If a
Sweet.
meteor hit this broadcast, there would be a huge hole in the heavy metal community.
We just need Tanner from Adrost on here now.
Oh, I know. Then it would be a full round table. Well, this is what we've always wanted. I hope
The metal
folks
round
who
table
just
is more like
joined
a
you guys-
buffet table. almost.
That's right. It's a heavy metal buffet.
I know. Hang on. Here's it. Scotty. Opening the well, when we started the show back in the day, it was just Carcass and I always wanted it to be just dudes bullshitting about music, and that's what we achieved here today. And I feel kind of bad because we were gonna have, we had Vic, and it was gonna be the Vic and Vindicator and everything, and then it snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. So Vic, you're a fucking champion for letting us do all this, and
No
thank
worries.
you for coming on the
Not a
show,
problem.
brother. And the thing is,
Yeah, no
it's
worries.
an open invitation always to any of you guys. If you got get a little hot under the metal collar over something we're talking about, just all I got to do is drop you the link.
Well, I
Hey,
mean, Rob, you guys
before we
have
get out of here.
I think 120 episodes. That's quite an achievement, and you just keep going and getting cooler guests and things. Had Saxon on the other day, the Nigel. I thought that was great, and the metal round table just keeps growing and growing. So
That's right.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
There is room at the metal round table for all.
Yep.
Yep.
And
But I
Vic,
will say this.
Vic, I'm going to check out some Vindicator and Volcana right when this call's over.
Cool, thank you.
And
Now-
you could do a great
Thank you.
Abaddon impression.
Yes, I was going to say that. but you
I
did
mean, I just
also-
well, Winnie Vincent. That's all I got, or something.
And I'm
That's
pretty
my
sure
Scandinavian
that
accent.
there's no question that Vic has got the best hair that's ever been on the show, right?
Man.
Oh man, I gotta
Probably.
cut it too. It's stupid right now. It's
No
dumb.
way,
It's
dude.
really,
Well, if you
it's
cut it,
just
send it
too
over
much.
here.
I'm not trying
Well,
to. I'm not. No, I'll never. I'm gonna rock
already know.
whatever
I'll put it right up
bad
here.
hairline. I'm gonna rock a skullet. I've already decided. I'll have Hulk Hogan hair if it goes that way. But I need a
That's what
trim,
I'm
man.
doing.
It's been like a year and a half. It's too long, man.
Now that rules.
I loved my hair when I was young.
Young.
Now I'm an old fart and it falls
Yeah,
out. Still long. I mean, it's still long. I'm down to my, but it's just so damn thin from being old.
Yeah.
Well,
Old.
some of us
I
are
hear
older
that
than
happens.
others.
Oh, hey, we've got a newbie. Kevin, what's up? Your first metal roundtable. Well,
Yes.
you've got 119 to catch up. And a couple
Kevin-
bumpy rides along the way.
Kevin Colehouse is the Metal War God. He does Metal War God Radio. He's got a YouTube channel. That guy is a metalhead through and through. His collection would rival any of our collections.
That's awesome.
And that's saying a lot if you've ever been to John's house.
Shit. Yeah. John's got a fucking heavy metal. It's not even a
Museum.
man cave. It's like a
like a man-
condo.
It's a man house.
crazy. Upstairs, downstairs, drum
John-
room.
yeah.
Man
God
house.
bless.
Yep. And
John
Vic, if
Colehouse
you're ever in
is
Texas,
like-
It's kind of like the Library of Congress of metal.
There
if
you
you're
go.
ever in Texas, you gotta go to see Marcus's house.
That's exactly right. Hey, Daniel.
It's on my to-do list now.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
You won't be
anytime
disappointed.
you're
You'll
in
spend
Texas-
hours just walking around looking at all the crap on the walls, and I'm not kidding.
Oh, and the stories are fantastic. So
Every picture tells a story, and so does everything on the wall. So
And then I'll let you stay overnight and stay
Nice,
in the
nice.
Godzilla room.
yeah, the Godzilla right now. Yeah. Hey, Rick.
All right,
anytime.
sign me up, man.
yeah, and if you come through town and you want to play the living room, we'll do a nice little live at Casa de Carcass to post on YouTube. We did that with Aska and Four Bones.
All right.
It was fun, man. Good time.
Hell yeah.
All right. Any parting shots?
I've been wanting to do a. Oh, I got nothing.
Oh,
No,
and you
you
haven't.
haven't.
What?
You want to do a house party? Come
Oh, I was
on
gonna-
down.
Yeah, no, I was saying,
I got
I've been wanting to do a Texas tour for a long time. Like, it just seems like a cool, fun thing to do. I've been talking to my buddies in Aggravator about it. We're trying to line something up. So I don't know. Maybe soon we can.
There's places
schedule
to
that
play
in.
down here.
We've got two bands that are ready to rip and roll. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Right
All
on.
boys. Vic, you're the man. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank
Please
you.
feel free to chime in anytime and shoot the wheels off of any of our shows. I feel like we did that to you today, so I apologize. But Rick, you're the man as well. Thank you for coming on, dude. I'm super stoked about getting that new Gammacide out. And George, I'm glad you saw my message and you popped on with your hot sports opinions. And let me tell you something. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know if I need to face north and salute the flag or whatever. Aska's best album is coming out. I'm telling you. It's
I'm looking
the
forward
best
to it.
one,
thank you.
period.
You know what? I'm gonna second that motion. I'm gonna agree with
Oh
that
my
opinion because
God.
it's a monster. Yeah.
It is a monster. Well, you know how we do it. We sign off with the metal horns. So for episode 120 of the Metal Roundtable, I am Metal Rob. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can follow Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. Check out Scott on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and look up Scott Waters and see his 10 bazillion followers that we wish we had. Check
Rob.
out all things Gammacide and Iron Jaw. Check out all things Vindicator and watch for that new Aska record. You will see updates on all of these coming up on all of our pages. So
Hey Rob, before we go, I do want to say one thing because we lost a metal legend yesterday. That I just think we should mention it. We lost Burke Shelley from Budgie, 71 years old. So hell, Budgie, rest in peace, brother.
that's right.
Great, huge band. I mean, never saw the success of Sabbath or any of those other 70s new first wave of British heavy metal bands, but definitely
Right
was
there
an
with them.
inspiration to a lot of them.
Yep. And like Metallica kept so many of those bands on the map by covering their songs. I wouldn't even know about Budgie if not for the covers. So, thankful for that. They knew who the good influential bands were, and they covered a ton of them.
Sorry, I forgot to say that earlier today. I just wanted to get that in. So
I still love you, buddy. We're good.
Now we can say goodbye.
All right, kids. Until next time, you know how we do this. We sign off with the metal horns. Metal will prevail. And now I play something when I can find it. We do this like this. Watch. Here we go.
And I pick my nose.
And now.